Apparently, you're confessing, or maybe you have some sort of, what do they call it? Soi sponte, as part of some ex parte. Okay. Um, you somebody agreed to loan somebody else's kids out while I worked somewhere that worked with people that were in the sex trade, including people that were minors. And I voiced my own specific perspective on that arrangement and that whole milieu, which was distinct from the people there. And I think what you're disturbed about is this, that it is about the information you have and the honesty that you present to people. And what I said that I think you're having problems with, is this what you consider unforgivable? Well, there were young people there. There were minors, and they have a different perspective on the concept of sex trafficking and being consistently victimized and cast as catastrophic when the adults want to try to save them. And so it's important that young people be able to have their own way of identifying what's going on with them and have a means by which to be able to have some political agency that isn't just about being saved from a circumstance that somebody else has identified as being one that's oppressing them. So, you find out your senator, who you might actually agree with, or your congressperson that you might actually agree with, has a portfolio as part of their campaign that uses surveillance that's taken of you in public spaces as part of their target marketing for other people, including adults. And they have people that are campaign contributors that enjoy pornography, including pornography involving minors. And they're sending them currency based upon visual representations of engaging sex acts with people who are underage. And you happen to look a lot like the kind of profiles they run with these cryptocurrencies that are also part of fintech on banks that pay a lot of money to support their campaigns, and banks that work with auditors that pay a lot of money to support their campaigns. And these auditors also work with the local municipalities, including the police pension funds that are involved with surveilling you when you're in places like the library or maybe on public transportation. How do you feel about this? What do you want to do about this? How do you see yourself in this perspective? What do you understand your political rights are? Is that what's so offensive and unforgivable? You just don't want them to know. Is that the kind of information that goes into contract bidding that the state of Texas tried to make illegal starting on January 1st of 2020? Absolutely it is, isn't it? And it's one of the reasons your kids can't go to school. You're the one that tried to sex bond children to you or whoever it was that you agreed to let be a campaign supporter. And now you're in a bad situation because apparently part of that campaign support involved being availed of accounts you set up after you stole my identity. And you don't want to admit it. And insofar as there were international obligations associated with the means by which I was put into a situation where I was denied any access to due process because somebody decided to lease me out as their mineral interest before, right? I was put into the hospital so that then they could start testing biological weapons on me under verifiable context, wherein certain companies could bid on contracts that were pending for the specific kind of R&D they were testing on me. Well, I mean, it puts you in a very awkward position. And I'm sure it puts every single person, including minors that might not even be old enough for, I don't know, puberty, menstruation. It puts them in an awkward position too. Are you afraid that they might go to school and they might have a teacher that teaches a civics class who would bring up situations like congressional hearings about technology sector and then try to engage them in some sort of education about what they understand about technology and social media usage and maybe surveillance and privacy prior to unconstitutional changes to the law regarding alleged confidentiality that do not include. I guess my time is up, right? And so is yours.